So your Facebook ads account got suspended. Mine too. Let's talk about it. Yo guys, what's up? It's Myles here, coming at you from my hotel room in Panama today. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you don't know me, my name is Myles and I'm a 7-figure a year Amazon FBA private label seller. So this channel is all about helping you get to the 6-figure or the 7-figure mark with Amazon FBA and e-commerce. But what the hell am I doing talking about Facebook ads today? Well, in a previous video, which I'll put up here, I mentioned that I was starting to finally start to look at off-Amazon traffic sources for driving traffic back onto my Amazon listings, my Amazon products, to really get things going, to make more money basically through ranking and other things. Now, I'd never used Facebook ads before, but I'd heard how powerful of a platform it was, how massive ROI you could get because of the targeting is just so insanely finely detailed. So the video that I linked to up there, that was part 1 in a 3-part series. Now, I did part 1 about 2 weeks ago from this time of filming now, and I still haven't done part 2 or part 3. Why? Something went wrong. So I mentioned that I'm here today in Panama, and that last video, when I filmed that video, I was in Australia, and before that, I was in Colombia, and before that, lots of other places. And what I've recently discovered is that Facebook does not like you moving around. You might mistakenly think that Mark Zuckerberg has never heard of the airplane, the car, the horse, or the bicycle, or other methods of transportation that we use to get around in this modern world. Anyway, I had my Facebook ads account disabled straight away before I could even launch my first ad. Now, this was a really frustrating process, and in terms of getting this done, these last 2 weeks have been an emotional roller coaster. Seriously, it's been crazy. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh my God, Facebook ads. Look at this, it's so amazing. It's so much money. Whoa, what's that? Oh. Oh my God. No, Facebook. No! We got this. Oh. What is that? Fuck. Can't stop me, Facebook. Oh no!
But seriously, I have learned a crap load about Facebook ads and what to do and what not to do over the last week or two. So I'm going to take you through everything that I've learned along the way. There are so many ways in which your account can get banned or disabled. So you need to know what are all of those ways, what do you need to be looking out for, and you need to know this stuff in advance so that you can prevent it from happening to you. I'll walk you through all of that. I'll also tell you, if the worst does come to pass and you do get your account disabled, how do you get it back? How do you get back on the Facebook ads platform so that you can start generating ads and generating money for your business? And this does seem to be something that happens to almost everybody at some stage or time. And so most people say that it's incredibly frustrating, but if you've done these things right and you've put all these things in place, the likelihood of it happening will be much less. And if or when it does happen, the consequences will be much lower as well. So it won't be so stressful like it has been for me. So I'm going to zoom you into my computer and I'll walk you through this step by step. Let's go.
Okay, so basically we can categorize like the problems with Facebook ads and account suspension or account disabling issues into 3 different categories. So firstly is just an ad account issue. So that's where generally there might be like a fraud or a risk sort of control that they're putting in place because they think your entire account is compromised or it's something that they don't want on their platform. So that's the one that I'll probably talk the most about. The second one is specific ads. I will cover that as well, but given that I haven't actually launched any ads myself, this is all based on research that I've been doing. I did have my ads approved and then disapproved, which I'll talk about as well in a second. And the third is the landing page. So that's Facebook will actually review, once they've reviewed your ad, they review what it clicks onto, which is generally a landing page or something like that. And they'll check that out and make sure that that also meets their acceptable use policy. So if any of those 3 things don't meet their, what they want you to be doing, then you'll probably get, if it's an ad problem, then you'll get the ad disapproved or banned. And if you have enough issues with a whole bunch of different ads, then they'll look at the ad account. So it's important to note that it's not just a matter of, for example, in my case, not just a matter of making sure that I'm always in the same location so I can protect my ad account. I also really have to pay attention to what Facebook wants in its ads and landing page and the whole part of this process. From what I've been reading, Facebook really has changed a lot most recently with I forget the name, but the European privacy controls that have been changed. And so they're really cracking down on a lot more things than they used to be. So it is important to make sure that you're getting up-to-date information about this stuff. So just as a brief summary of what happened to me over the last 2 weeks. So I signed up, I created my business manager account. Actually, I think I already had it for a while. So it was open, it was running, it was fine. I created one ad account. Now that was a mistake, but I created only one. and then I added a payment method to that ad account. Then I created an ad. So all of this, from creating the ad account to creating the ad, was only a few days or maybe even one day, I can't remember, but it was pretty much like all quickly and brand new. So once I'd created the ad, then that goes through a review process. So Facebook will look at every single ad before they publish it, they review it, and as I said, they also review the landing page. So when you click on it, where does it go? And so that went through this kind of like brief cyclical process of being approved and then disapproved, approved and disapproved. Now, this was my first experience with the Facebook ad platform, so I really had very little idea what was going on. And I was already getting a little bit frantic trying to figure it out. And here's the thing, Facebook help is, they're really slow to respond, and their responses are just really generic. Like I'm pretty good at asking specific questions to try and get answers back, and also keeping the tone neutral. You know, whenever you're approaching customer service or trying to get help, it's always important to approach whoever's going to be helping you in a very polite and respectful way. So it never helps to get angry at them because they're just doing their job. So I'm pretty good at that, and I do ask specific questions. You know, take the tone of being like I want to help Facebook's users. I want to do the right thing. Can you please tell me, you know, what the issue is so that I can correct it and make sure that it never happens again. But they just don't really answer those questions. So they're not very helpful in helping you identify the root cause if you're not sure of exactly what you've done wrong. And as well, while this was occurring, so while the ad was going for review and being approved, and then and then disapproved, and then I would follow it up and say what's happened, and then a customer support service person would come back and be like, hey, I've just approved your ad, and then I'd get another email saying disapproved, and I'll just show you here. Disapproved, approved, disapproved, approved, ad, blah, 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 blah. And for some reason, it's not showing up all of the account disabled ones, but that was the same sort of process. So my account got, I believe it was the payment method was what it actually got it flagged. And then I sent an email to them inquiring about that. And then when they responded, they said, hey, I've unblocked it, you're good to go. And then when I went back in to check later, it was blocked again, and so on and so forth. So pretty frustrating process. And then I spent the last week or so, most of that has been waiting for them to respond. But yesterday, I basically went and just decided to take matters into my own hands. Okay, so let's just go through how I could have done this better so that if this had happened anyway, if I'd still had these location issues and had my, my payments blocked, how could this have not affected me so much? So let's talk about how to structure your Facebook ads account. First of all, the first thing that goes without saying is don't use your personal Facebook ad account to generate ad accounts. So you have to sign up for a business manager account straight away. So if you get your personal Facebook account banned from creating ads, then that's much worse because then you actually have to go and make another one. And Facebook is getting good at detecting people making multiple accounts, and that is against their terms of service, by the way. So understand that if you are making multiple Facebook accounts, you're already violating their terms of service. So to create the business manager, you don't need an LLC or anything. You can just add in your name, and actually you can add in whatever name you want. So basically what it will look like when you've got your business manager open is you'll have these multiple options. So this is my personal ad account, which I don't want to be using because if that goes, then I can't do anything else with my personal Facebook account, and everything is linked back to your personal Facebook account. So it's these ones, these businesses that I want to be creating here. And if you've got multiple things going on, then you can separate out multiple business managers for each business. Now, when you create the new business manager account, immediately create the maximum amount of ad accounts that you can. I believe that number is 5, but don't add payment methods to them yet. And the reason why you should really do this immediately is that once you've got one ad account disabled, you can't create any new ad accounts. So that was what I tried to do. I thought it might work and it didn't. So if you have them already and you have an issue, you can use those old ones, but you can't create new ones while you've got those issues. And then lastly, so you can have these multiple ad accounts, you can have these multiple business manager accounts, but what you really need to be aware of is that if Facebook has an issue with an ad or has an issue with an ad account and then it bans that ad or it bans that ad account, it doesn't, just pick that specific one and go, all right, that ad account ID can no longer be used. They're not dumb, and so what they'll actually do is connect the payment method to that ad account, which will be your credit card or whatever, or PayPal, and then they'll also ban that. And if it's an ad, they'll also take the ad domain name, the landing page, whatever that is, and ban that. So in the future, you can use a different ad account, but if you connect the same credit card to it, if you send it to the same domain, if you're launching ads to the same domain name, then Facebook will pick that up as being prohibited, and it will cut them out as well. And so you have problems with that next ad account. So make sure if you are going to use multiple ad accounts, you need multiple payment methods. So I found the whole concept of having these, your Facebook account, your business manager account, and your ad account, I found that kind of complicated, but this graph to me explained it kind of well. So this is the business manager account. And then the advantage of having that business manager account, firstly, you can create multiple ones, one for each business, but then you can actually get users to have user permissions for this business manager account. So this will be a personal Facebook account, that's a personal Facebook account, and that is as well. And so what that means is that you can, for example, get somebody else to make a business manager account and their own ad accounts. If all of that is all okay, and you're not going to be running ads to a banned domain name or something like that, then you can get them, once they've created that brand manager account, to add you and your personal Facebook account, again, assuming that your personal account hasn't been banned, as a user, as an admin, and then you can manage all of that yourself. So the key thing here is start with the business manager account, create all of the ad accounts straight away, and then your personal account is just attached to that only as an admin. So then what are the additional steps that you can take to secure that account once you have that structure set up correctly? What else can you do to minimize your chances of having that disabled, banned, or suspended? So first of all, and I'm not sure how important this is, but it probably helps, is to add phone verification. So that is just going to be a sort of risk reducing factor for Facebook, because a lot of this, at least the location type issues, that's around them trying to reduce their riskier users. So adding phone verification helps you prove that you are who you say you are. Second one is don't use PayPal, use an actual credit card. Anecdotally, I've just heard that when PayPal does chargebacks or things like that, then Facebook obviously doesn't like that. And so that's just one demographic that seems to have account issues more, is people who are using PayPal as a payment method. So I would recommend to use an actual credit card. So the next one is super important, and it's again just keeping in line with that general theme that Facebook is trying to reduce risk for itself, trying to, anybody who seems to have like behavior running ads out of the normal, out of what they would expect to be normal anyway, then they're more likely to get flagged, they're more likely to have account problems, more likely to have ads disapproved, etc., etc. So what you need to do to just basically sit in with everybody else is start slow with ads. If it's a brand new account, don't just get out there and start spending $100 a day. And another thing that I've heard recommended is to start with really safe ads. So if you want to run your own ads to your own domain name or whatever, Shopify store or Amazon landing page, don't do that first. Run it to something that will just there will definitely be no problems. Maybe even just a third party, something, spend like $10 or something, a small budget, and have that account just running. Doing something where that at least it's not an ad issue, and it'll be one less reason that Facebook can trigger a review at the start, because a new account is a big risk factor for Facebook. So you want to start really, really slow and just play it safe. The last one is location, and this is what I've been flagged for my account. So if you change location, and I don't know what the radius is or how often, but basically if your account logins are coming from different spots, and probably the country matters a lot, so I assume that maybe Colombia was a big risk factor, Panama maybe as well, I don't know. But if you move around a lot, different countries, and you're logging into your Facebook ad platform, then that is much more likely to be triggered and to have your account disabled or at least temporarily suspended. But if you're a new account, again, you're in that high risk group, and Facebook seems to have really terrible customer support or user support, and so they'll probably just ban you and then be done with it, and you won't be able to do anything. So the way to get around this, I've learned now, is to use a VPN, or never move anyway, but ideally use a VPN. I have not yet signed up to a VPN, but I have had ExpressVPN recommended to me. So what's that? That's about $100, $99.95 a year. If paying $100 prevents all of these problems from happening to you, and it prevents weeks of delays, ad campaigns that can't be run, then that is super, super worth it, in my opinion. So get a VPN if you are moving around a lot. So that was all about keeping your account, your ad accounts, in line with what Facebook expects and playing it safe. This next section is on ad compliance. Now, I don't know whether I actually had an issue with ad compliance or not. My ads were really chill ads, basically. There wasn't much going on, but I did get them disapproved and then approved and disapproved. So either that was because of my location issue or a separate issue. So the reason why I can't say for certain that my ads were fine is, well, firstly, because the user support really doesn't give you much valuable information to work with. But secondly, because their advertising policies are quite complex, really. And they also seem to change a lot. So you have to stay updated with it. There are a few things that I noticed, like as a general guideline, not using the words you. So I may have done that. I actually can't remember what was in my ad. Because basically, although you can target people very specifically, you're not supposed to let people know that you're targeting them specifically. It's kind of weird. But anyway, read it for yourself, facebook.com/policies/ads. I can go through it here, but I have a feeling that it can change quite quickly. So if this video is a bit old when you watch this, then definitely either way, come and read this. It also tells you about like what they do. So they check the ad, the landing page, and the prohibited content. So if you're advertising anything in particular, then you need to know that it's not on this list, which is a really long list, restricted content as well. Basically, you have to know this, otherwise you probably will get your ad disapproved. Okay, so I learned a few lessons during this process. Firstly, to really take extra precautions and plan for the worst at the start. I guess didn't really have any expectations going into this. I just assumed that I would be able to immediately give Facebook my advertising dollars, but that's not the case. They are very strict about a lot of things, and so you have to plan for those things before you get started. Otherwise, you'll be in for a world of pain like I was. So, and when you have a new account as well, the risk is higher. So that's why it's even more important to plan this stuff out in advance. Prevention is almost always better than management. And the last thing is really just a point of frustration, but they don't tell you what you got disabled for. So oftentimes you will expect to get a nice answer out of them that will enable you to fix the problem, but they just don't really give you much if they reply at all. So that is really frustrating, and just another reason why it's so important to do this all properly from the start. So if you did get your ad account disabled, what to do? First of all, try and work out what it is that you did wrong. Maybe it's obvious, maybe you're advertising something that was clearly prohibited, but I think a lot of times people just fall by the wayside of this whole fraud and risk protection thing. And particularly with new accounts, particularly if you're in different places or maybe countries where there's higher risk. For me, I'm a legitimate user, I want to run really safe ads and basically just pay Facebook money. So I would be willing to keep following up with Facebook. Definitely mentioning what I said before, make sure your tone is always kind of respectful, even if it is really frustrating. The people on the other end of that, it's not going to help your case if you try and take it out on them. They really won't care at all, and then we're more likely to just shut you down. I have found that the normal responses, they're kind of they seem like bot responses. So to try and get a fast response, if it's something that legitimately you think you can get your account re-enabled for, then try to get onto Facebook chat support. And this is only available during business hours, but you'll get a much better response. And the way to do that is to go on Monday to Friday, go to Facebook Business Resources, and I've put the link here, facebook.com/business/resources. And then if we go to top questions under here, at the moment there's no link because it's not business hours, but you will see this chat button. So you can chat with a real person there, be nice to them, show them that you're grateful for their help and that you are willing to try and actually solve the problem, not just trying to game the system. And again, depending on the reason, maybe you'll have luck. Okay, so while you've been banned and you're trying to appeal that through either your case log or through that chat support, this can take days, can take weeks, and you don't know what the outcome will be, again, depending on what you've done. So the next thing to do, and this is honestly what most people will recommend that you do straight away, is either just create a new Facebook account. And again, I have to say that this is against terms of service. Facebook TOS is that you can only have one account for yourself. So by doing this, you're breaching their terms of service. But you want to create a new personal account, or ideally, maybe use somebody else's who already has a real account and they're willing to create a business manager account for you. If you are creating a new personal account for yourself, then you need to make sure it's completely separate in every way, shape or form from your previous one. You also need to make sure that it kind of looks like a real account. So give it a bit of time. You can't do that immediately then. You need to add friends, use it a bit, pretend to be a real person. And then once you've done that for a little bit of time, like a week or so, then you can create a new business manager profile. And that's why it's easier if you have somebody who will let you, or maybe a business partner who can actually then do this legitimately, is to use somebody else's existing Facebook personal account, get them to create the business manager account and the ad accounts, get everything set up, and then you can get added as an admin like I showed you before in this diagram here. So in this case, your friend, your partner, whoever would create the business manager account, add you as the admin, and they would also add all of the ad counts themselves, do everything themselves. And lastly, keep in mind that the payment method is a critical link. So you need to use a new payment method. That means a new credit card. Now, the way that I recommend you do this, rather than signing up for a completely new credit card, is take your existing credit card and ask your bank whether you can get an additional card holder. Most banks will do it either for free or for a very, very small fee. Most of my credit cards, it looks like I can do it online with no hassles at all and no cost. So that will give you those independent credit card details that will not be linked to your old one. Because remember, when your ad account gets banned, so too does the payment method and whatever else. If it was the ad that was banned, then you'll also probably get your domain name banned that you were linking to, and so on and so forth for the product. Guys, that's really all I have for today's video. I hope that if you've been in a similar situation to me and you've had your ad account disabled, I hope this gives a bit of clarity as to what you can do moving forwards. And if you haven't had your account disabled, I hope that this gives you a bit of a structure that you can use to make sure that you play it safe and nothing bad happens to you. So guys, stick around. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you there.